I know I've been saying that I'm going to stop not editing videos for you guys, but this one will be not edited. I'm just trying to get it out there because I've been sitting on it for a while. It's been bugging me and I apologize, so bear with me, but this mouse, let's just drop it right. Watch this review because this is the best mouse on the market, in my opinion, in terms of competitive shape and feel and some tech specs for the price too, by the way. This mouse is amazing and it is very underrated right now, and it's not realized of its potential inside the esports gaming competitive scene. But this thing is literally top tier, and I mean, I have improved my gameplay alone from this mouse, and I'll explain that in details here in a little bit. But anyways, hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Braven. I play FPS games. I do review on Razer products. I mean, I test other products too, but I really do review on Razer products because that's what I normally have the most time spent on. I do as also audiophile stuff too. I'm getting into all that as well. So hopefully you guys do enjoy my content. Please follow, like, and subscribe. It truly means the world to me. But we're going to do this review, try to knock it out as quick as possible, but also as detailed as possible, because I am quite upset with the reviewer tech space where they're just kind of shoveling out content to get viewership. I've talked about this in the past where people list product details and they don't get it right, or they're not accurate. So today we're going to actually get this one accurate for you guys and get you guys the tech specs as in-depth as possible. So please follow, like, and subscribe. And then also, while you're doing this, I'm not saying being a bully or anything, but tell your tech reviewers that you watch, the ones that you always go to for tech reviews, tell them just, you know, pay more attention to what they're reviewing, especially people that mix up an optical switch for a mechanical switch inside a fucking mouse that's literally in your face, and they tell you it's got mechanical switches. It's on the box. So anyways, I have the box stored away. I'm not going to show you that. It's nothing too crazy. It just comes in a brown box. It comes with the mouse, it comes with a dongle, and it comes with a AA battery, which I put the backing on just now because I recorded this video twice now. Put the backing with the battery in it, AA Energizer Max. So we're going to get into a full in-depth review. So right now I'm going to just go right off the bat and just give you my subjective opinion of the mouse, and then we'll go into tech specs. So this mouse is my new main for esports competitive scene. Competitive gaming, should I say. This mouse is nothing short but of amazing. Like I said earlier, it has improved my gameplay, and the reason why it has improved my gameplay is because it's something that's underrated about this mouse. Two things technically combined, which is crazy. So the PTFE feet on this thing are the best iteration of Razer's stock PTFE feet I've ever felt in my life. These things glide like butter. They're thick, they're rounded off, and since I use a glass mouse pad, which, by the way, I'll have to give you guys more in depth about my setup too, just because you gotta understand. But the glass mouse pad with these feet glides like butter. It's a little sporadic even because how buttery smooth it glides. But that's not the only reason why I really like this, because quite frankly, I have a Basilisk here with the other PTFE feet, and you could feel a little bit of friction compared to these feet. It is a difference. It's so minor, but it's a difference enough to where I'm like, okay, yeah, these things are buttery smooth. These things are really good for cloth pads or whatever. You're gonna love these. Now, my testing has been done on a glass pad. That's all I use now. It's my favorite glass pad, the Razer Atlas pad. You really should get this glass pad. I think this is the best glass pad on the market as well. Razer really innovating the game, bar none. But the other reason too, the combination with the PTFE feet of why this mouse is so good, it's underrated as hell. And that is not only the sensor specs, obviously, because the sensor is really good, but it's the placement of the sensor and the battery going into the mouse. So let me explain that. People don't explain this with you, or with tech reviewers. They don't explain this. The reason they actually put the sensor up higher is to have your fingers match in a claw grip close to that sensor, as you can see right there. See that? See how my fucking thumb and pinky is like pretty much on line with the sensor? So I wish I could show you an example here. I guess I could use this as an example. I mean, it's my headphone jack, but you're writing with a pen, right? Writing with a pen. You're not writing with a pen like this. Writing with a pen like this, right? And you're much more accurate with fine-tuning lines and cursive and whipping with the pen like that. This is the generalization of why they put that sensor there, because it's supposed to finer access your micro adjustments. It's supposed to be more on point with how you would feel moving this mouse around compared to a sensor that's in the middle. For example, the Basilisk. As you can see, like holding a pen, like set my hand on the mouse properly. You see where my hand's gonna be. and where that sensor is going to be. So it's actually quite surprising that people don't realize that. However, I'm not going to blame anybody for not realizing that, because there's not many mice out there that can have the sensor be pushed up that high, as you see on the Hyperspeed. So everyone got used to these middle sensors, including myself. I was used to the middle sensor because that's all we've known. This improves your gameplay. This sensor placement alone improves your gameplay. Back to what I was saying about my specific approach about how I game. I mean, I was going to show gameplay in this so you can see me improving, but I mean, twitch.tv/Braven. Please go watch me live. Please. You'll see what I'm talking about. Battlefield alone, I've learned that I have way better recoil control, and I'm much more snappier and on point on an X-axis interface. So when I'm aiming and side swiping left and right, it's actually much more accurate with this sensor compared to it is with the middle sensor. Also, when I'm flicking up, I feel like I'm able to micro adjust a little bit more. So the only thing that I can say is when you're trying to get used to it, it will just feel like it's a faster sense, but really you're actually going to be pinpointing yourself where you want to be with your visual more than you would with the other mouse. It's actually a trip. It's a really big trip. But back to what I was saying, I use a glass pad for one. You have to keep that in mind. And then also, I play at a medium, I would say medium to high sense. I would say probably more medium sense. I'm a wrist aimer. So this really benefits you for micro adjustments, wrist aiming, once you dial it in. A lot of people just test it and they go, oh, well, I feel like I'm more sporadic with the wrist aiming. No, it's because you could fine tune more accurately with your wrist with this mouse. That's why your gameplay will improve. People don't realize that because they're aiming like this. So if you're an arm aimer and this is all you do, you know, just sudden arm movements, there's not going to be really a benefit to what the mouse can do for you. It's when you're arm aiming and then fine tuning with your wrist that you can see that visually. When you can move up and then fine tune with your wrist, that's when the mouse is going to be more accurate for you. Like I said, it's like writing with a pen. You literally write cursive with a pen, but not in your palm. If you're writing palm, it's going to not come out right. It's going to look sloppy. So props to Razer for that benefit alone. This mouse alone just earned my fucking keep with that. But not only that, the shape is literally better than the Logitech G Pro Superlight, which is the best shape out on the market. I personally think this mouse right here is much more comfortable to hold. The hump is better. The length of it is slightly longer than the original Viper, and so it fills in the back of the palm more comfortably. The only thing, the caveats of this mouse, obviously it's a personal preference for you. I'm normally not a person who likes external batteries, but I actually want to have external batteries, and I'll explain that a little bit as well, because there's actually a good reason to have external batteries in this mouse. There's that, and then it has the Gen 2 mechanical switches, which I would personally like if they just threw in optical switches. I know that it would have bumped the price a little bit, but I mean, you could literally give us the next gen, or I mean the first gen optical switches in this mouse, and I would have been happy. But the switches are actually really good, believe it or not. I'm not complaining too much about the switches. I'm just saying it's a caveat because obviously it's a budget line mouse, but it's the caveat. But these are really, really good. I think they have 0 millisecond debounce time stock, because I've never felt a mechanical switch from a mouse feel as instantaneous as this mouse right here. It's almost like I don't even realize the latency on this thing. And mind you, this mouse has been running for me on 1,000 hertz pulling. I don't have the 4,000 hertz dongle. I do have a 4,000 hertz charging dock, as you cannot see because I can't pull it up. But I mean, whatever, I unplugged it. There you go. It's right there, okay? 4,000 hertz dongle. It doesn't work for a certain mice. It only works for the Cobra Pro and Basilisk V3 Pro per my testing. So obviously I got 4,000 hertz pulling with the Basilisk V3 Pro. And it's literally like my all decked out fucking $240+ combination there. But this thing, competitively and price wise, has become my new main for many, many reasons. It has a DPI button up here, which again, it's not necessarily a caveat or anything, but personally I don't really know any gamer that does any fast DPI switching for certain games. I think everybody just sets their DPI to 1 DPI and plays on that throughout. So that's pretty much why I'm calling it out. But I guess it's a okay feature to have. The scroll wheel is really, really good, actually. I've gotten used to this scroll wheel, and at first I was a little skeptical about it because I really like the Viper 8 kilohertz scroll wheel on that. That's an older gen one, but this one has really earned my trust on that. And then obviously, as you can see, the side buttons, they are spread out a little bit. They are much more better than pretty much previous model Vipers. I feel like the other Viper models had the buttons lower, so I feel like you might accidentally sometimes hit those buttons, but this raises them up just a little bit. It's like a hit or miss for me. I like the way they feel. I think they feel much better personally, but they're a little too high up in my opinion. I mean, never really had an issue hitting those buttons except for like once in a blue moon, but it was just nice to kind of not have to move my thumb so much, keep my mouse grip on the same, and just barely hit those buttons. Now I have to raise it up a little higher. Very, very small, minor issue. But other than that, the coating on this thing is like the same as the Death Adder V3 wired, which I literally just sold not too long ago. And then also the Death Adder Faker Edition, the V3 Faker Edition, it's the same coating. So this coating is really smooth to the touch at first grasp, but the reason why they use this coating is because as you're playing and you somewhat accumulate some kind, I know it sounds nasty, but some kind of fucking moisture on your hand, it actually gets really grippy. But the problem I have is the first two games or game or whatever that I'm playing, that's when the coating is an issue for me. Other than that, but once I'm gaming past that 2 game mark, whatever, I'm already in it a little bit. Moisture, even just a slight bit of it's just natural gamer moisture just happens. That's when you'll start feeling that coating go, oh yeah, this is helping a lot. So that's the reason why I have grips on my mouse 1 and 2 and then side buttons. But it does not come with grips, by the way. It does not. But the grips help me a lot with just keeping myself dialed in. And then once my hand gets that little bit of moisture from gaming, then I can feel the hump like lock in more, and that's when I'm just fucking going crazy with this mouse. It's fucking nuts. This mouse is the closest thing to the Basilisk shape that I love so much. That's still a symmetrical mouse, so that's why it's been like the main. I'll tell you this right now: if Razer made a Basilisk V3 Pro with the same length and hump dimensions as the Viper V3 Hyperspeed, I would buy that mouse, and that would be my main mouse. Period. End of discussion. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's end game mouse. That's literally what I've been asking for. So the fact that I got this mouse, you know, shape and dimensions of this mouse, but make it ergo with the Basilisk design, sold, done, easy. I'll just name it the Braven at that point. I would fucking main that mouse through and through. That is literally the #1 mouse at that point. But yeah, this mouse is fucking nothing short of amazing. And again, I've been playing the finals more lately. Counter-Strike 2, just kind of getting back into that with my friends. Battlefield and you know, Call of Duty, even Apex Legends. I just noticed in every game that I've played, my recoil control and micro adjustments have been more accurate and much more cleanly. It looks like I literally am shooting much better as a gamer. I go back to the Basilisk and I can see myself flicking onto somebody, but then it looks more sporadic with my bullets and recoil control. But for some reason, this thing just fine-tuned and adjusts, and those recoil control locks are so good with this mouse. It's hard for me to go, oh, because like I love the Basilisk shape, and I go, oh, I'll just try this out, and then I use it for a bit and see what's going on. I put that thing right back, and I just go right back to this, and I'm like, oh my god, like let me just recoil control better again, and I'm doing good. It's a fucking amazing mouse. Believe it or not, I'm willing to take a pulling hurt downgrade and optical, and switches downgrade just to have this shape and that sensor placement. The sensor placement's #1 for me, bar none. So anyways, tech specs. Let's get the tech specs out of the way, shall we? Let's see if it wants to load up. Sure, any fucking day now. Okay, so we got the Razer Viper V3 Hyperspeed, right-handed symmetrical, 280 hours on 1000 hertz, with included AA battery, which is the Energizer Max Alkaline, and 75 hours with hyper pulling at 44,000 hertz. So that's probably the one downfall. But the good thing about the battery situation here is that there is no room for battery degradation. You could buy rechargeable batteries and they will last a lot longer, and then when those die out, it's just another $15 to replace them, or $10 even to replace them, to have a good battery again at a solid charging rate. A solid charging rate and full life battery of rate, instead of just the internal battery, where this one will obviously get degraded over time and then it won't charge or last as long. So props to Razer for kind of, you know, having that and still bringing the price down because of it. It's really good. Focus Pro 30K optical sensor. You got the best sensor on the market, bar none. End of discussion. Max speed IPS 750, and then max acceleration 70. So if you don't know, which I'm gonna show you guys this is how I know. You guys gotta fucking listen to the tech specs and realize what you're using. This is the Logitech G Pro Shroud Edition. Okay, I'm a big fan of Shroud. I have no idea why he's such a big fan of Logitech, but I'm a big fan of Shroud. Okay, and we all know he's really, really good with mice, or with gaming in general. But technically, this is the best shape on the market, right? According to many people, it's the best shape on the market. But the tech in this thing is like literally junk. It's junk, and I'll show you right now. So, max speed IPS 400. This thing is got a max acceleration of 40 Gs with a 25,600 DPI. So we got literally just slightly under 4,000 or slightly over 4,000 DPI better sensor, right? Slightly better. But the max speed is a 400 IPS. Now I'm not showing you the Logitech G Pro Superlight 2, but I guess we should show you that technically, because in theory that's the newest mouse, and it's still 160 bucks. By the way, the other one was 120 or 130, sorry, 130 for lesser sensor, which is literally double the price of what the mouse is. So here you got 32,000 DPI sensor, which is 2,000 more apparently. This is supposed to be a better sensor, right? Wrong. This thing is 500 IPS with a max acceleration of 40 G. This thing is hardly even better than the G Pro Shroud Edition. This mouse is junk. This thing has got a hybrid switch in it, which all it's there for is to preserve battery life. There's absolutely no reason you should be preserving your battery life unless your battery dies in 4 to 8 hours. There's absolutely no reason that you should be preserving battery life for that. I know some of you are too lazy. I'm not trying to talk shit on people, but I'm just saying some of you are too lazy to plug a cord into the port of the mouse every night you're done gaming. You just want to leave it there like, okay, fuck, I gotta charge it again. I charged it last week. Nincompoop. You know what I mean? No, like, just plug the damn, you have the cable sit right here. My cable's sitting right here for my dongle. Like, just unplug the dongle, shove it in the mouse, and you're done. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So anyways, that mouse has worse switches, worse fucking sensor, and it's selling double the price. This thing is $70 fucking dollars. That thing has 2,000 hertz polling, by the way. You could get 4,000 hertz polling, and it's still $60 less for this mouse. Actually, more than that. It's actually, I'm sorry, it's $85. It's $75 more than this mouse. And this mouse has 4,000. The only thing that's different on this mouse is the Gen 2 mechanical switches. Which, by the way, these Gen 2 mechanical switches are gold-plated Razer green switches. So if you don't know what that is, that's just an upgraded version of the Razer Orochi switches, and the Hyperspeed line is rocking all these Gen 2 switches now. That's how they bring the price down. But again, it's a near 0 millisecond debounce time. I've never felt a faster mechanical switch on a mouse. And I've tested many Logitech, HyperX, you name it. I've tested fucking SteelSeries mice. I've tested a bunch. I've had a bunch of mice here on my desk. I've even tried Extrafy and all those other brands, Pulsar. I've tested a lot of mice, mechanical switches wise, and Glorious even. And this mouse here has the absolute lowest stock mechanical switches in terms of latency that I felt. It feels almost instantaneous. I've never got that from a mouse. Usually I feel like I have to pre-click to fucking get that without touching the debounce times, obviously, in software or whatever. But this mouse right here doesn't even have an option to do it. Don't even need an option to do it. It's just there, and it's good. Top tier sensor, 6 programmable buttons, 60 million click lifecycle on those mechanical switches, and then the obviously next gen 100% PTFE next gen, because they're definitely not the same as the prior ones. These are next gen, really good. Like I said about the battery life, I wanted to talk about the battery life because we have something here. It's called a battery list, and we also have the battery calculator. So if you guys don't know, the mouse by itself is 59 grams without the battery. Okay, so 59 grams without the battery in it. Okay, so now each battery that you put in, say for example, I'm going to show you 2 examples here. I have a lithium AAA battery sitting in here. Okay, lithium AAA, and then I have a alkaline AAA sitting here inside an adapter. Now you could use these adapters, or you could even put in not just an adapter, or you could just do like just the AAA battery with a piece of aluminum foil and just shove it in there to bridge the gap, and then you get that. So the converter is probably like 1 gram, if not 2 at most. So the battery converter is nothing. But you got like the alkaline batteries, they're all different weights. Okay, rechargeable batteries, even different weights. So that's where this calculator comes in, and obviously I want to show you guys what the weight would be with the mouse on all aspects, because it's another thing reviewers just talk about so simply. It could be weigh this, it could weigh that. Let's really find out for you guys. how much this mouse is weighing with the different batteries. So here, what? Oh shit, what did I do? No. Okay, so negate. I hope I didn't do something math-wise. Say 59 plus, what's the first? 6 grams. So 65 grams with a AAA. Oh no, that's a quad A. Sorry, no, that's wrong. So the real math. I just want to make sure the calculator is working anyway, so bear with me on that. So 59 grams, okay? That's the standard weight of the mouse without anything in it. And you put yourself in a AAA battery, right? So AAA battery with aluminum foil, we'll say that, no converter. So it's 11.5. Oops, I overclicked it. 70.5 grams, okay? So you're talking about a 70.5 gram weight at the lowest AAA alkaline level, okay? So technically it would be 71.5 with the battery mod, which is that little AAA to AA converter. Okay, and obviously you guys know about the weight of the mouse with the AA alkaline battery, 82 grams, right? Standard, we know. Then you got yourself the lithium, which I don't know why it's not showing the lithium AAA in here. So I guess this list was a little bit inaccurate. That's annoying. I thought it wasn't inaccurate. It's just telling me name. Okay, that's not gonna work then. So let's just fucking Google it, shall we? AAA lithium battery weight. 7.6 grams. There we go. So 59 plus 7.6. So 66.6, which sounds terrible, but anyway, so you do the battery mod. Oops, 67.6. Jesus Christ, I'm clicking way too fast. 67.6. By the way, I'm using the bassless right now for this because it's editing. So 67.6 grams. That's your lightweight, pretty much, right there with an adapter. 66 grams is still really, really light. Then you got rechargeable batteries, by the way. Oops. I would like to click. Okay, now it just doesn't want to work. Jesus Christ. I don't know why my computer's bugging out right now. Okay, so AAA rechargeable battery weight. And you got yourself 14 to 15 grams at a nickel metal hydride, 14 to 15 gram right there, AAA battery. So that's what I pretty much, I don't have the rechargeable one, but the AAA I had in there. So anyways, we go 59 plus 15, just hypothetical, 74 grams. So at the bare minimum, now that we talk about this, with a AAA mod, okay, with a AAA mod, using an alkaline battery, you're looking at a Viper Ultimate weight, give or take, right? A rechargeable nickel metal hydride, pretty close to 74 grams. And then when you're looking at a lithium AAA mod, you're looking at a Death Adder V3 wireless, pretty much. I mean, they're all relatively lighter, 60 grams. So if you're looking for an ultra lightweight mouse, there's only, or they actually call it hyper lightweight or ultra lightweight. If you're looking for a mouse at that weight, you are specifically, and I mean literally specifically, aiming with your whole arm. You're not doing a single wrist movement, and you are using a cloth pad, and you haven't worked out ever in your life. You are literally pushing around. I've had somebody say this in the comments. You're pushing it's like pushing a semi-truck versus a fucking napkin. You uninstall any kind of social media that you have and never comment again, because you are ridiculous if you think that's true. This at 82 grams is not bad. There's pros today using 100+ gram mice and dominating more than you are with an ultralight mouse. You don't need an ultralight mouse. It's a trend. It's a fad. It does help. It does help to have a little bit lesser weight, but beyond ultralight weight actually introduces sporadic gameplay. Unless you are literally, like I said, This is the only way it helps you, unless you are only arm aiming 100%, like old CSGO players, that one of our CSGO and Valorant players that have literally nothing but the mechanic of left, right, up, down, click. There is no reason for you to be complaining about weight, period. That's the only time that a fucking ultra lightweight mouse is technically necessary. You don't need ultra lightweight. Let me tell you the safe weights to have for pretty much everybody. It is 85 grams down to 65 grams. That is literally the ballpark of where your mouse should be for any kind of gameplay. Even Valorant, CS, whatever. People are playing Valorant CS with 112 gram mice and doing better than you. I promise that. But you don't need an ultralight mouse. You need a balanced mouse. You need a proper sensor mouse that actually gives you your x-axis. Actually, this mouse, for those people, the x-axis mice, the one, x-axis sensor placement on this mouse to go left and right symmetrically, perfectly. This sensor is much better for games like Valorant and CS, believe it or not. My gameplay has improved from CS alone. I don't play Valorant. It's improved from CS. So, do I recommend this mouse? Yes. To everybody? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do I think it's the best shape on the market? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do I think it's the best tech on the market? Yes, except for the switches. Do I think this is going to be game-changing for for mice to come? Yes. If people catch on to what this sensor placement is. All I can say is technology today, no matter what it is, even Logitech mice, technology today is still very, very good. You're not going to really have issues with tech. There's going to be some that are underperforming or some that have lackluster, build quality or whatever, Logitech. There's a lot of mice out there. There's even mice out there that have 4,000 hertz polling for like $40 now on Amazon. But the thing is, not only are you getting the best tech in a budget price, but you're also getting the most competitive setup. If you claw or fingertip grip, this mouse should be your new main, period. Shouldn't even be a second thought. The only thing I can tell you is I know exactly why they launched this first, because this was to test the market. This was to test the market if the fans of the Viper are going to switch mice. And so I say yes. And I know when the Viper V3 comes out, it's going to be mass-produced, mass-liked, wired and wireless V3 Pro. It's going to be a huge hit. But I promise you right now, you want a head start on that? Get this mouse. The only thing I'm worried about is if I hope Razer's on the same page as their development side, because many people are going to complain about this sensor based off of what they're already used to instead of what this potential is with this sensor. And this sensor is literally the best sensor on the market. Literally where it's sitting and the specs on it. Let me tell you this. Follow, like, and subscribe. Buy that mouse. Come back to me, especially if you wrist aim more and you play, a lot more movement-based games. Like, really test the mouse out. Throw yourself in Apex and track with it. Throw yourself in fucking Call of Duty and flick with it. Throw yourself in Battlefield and fucking frag the fuck out. Go into the finals, see me in the finals, and let's see if you can compete with me. After that, follow, like, and subscribe, please, because this review is fucking literally how you're supposed to do a review. Full on, tested, tried, and true, specs to the brim, weights and all. Dropping the mouse. just go buy the mouse. If you like a Viper shape, if you like a symmetrical mouse shape, go buy it. Go buy it. $70. You won't hate it. You'll love it so much. And then after that, go buy yourself the hyperpolling dongle, and guess what? You have a better mouse than the G Pro Superlight 2 for half the price. You're welcome. You guys have yourselves a good day. I'm out.